Vladimirski. Ryan Weir is half the man he used to be, thankfully.
All right, we're back with another episode of the TVT News Podcast. We got our guy, the official mover of the Vladimirski team.
Thank you.
Joe Imbrogno, owner, founder, Easy Home Movers.
Thank you for having me.
What's up, buddy?
I'm busy all the time. Busy day. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for taking time out of your busy day.
Yeah, of course.
To sit with me and Ryan for 20 to 30 minutes.
It's not horrible. It's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
It is a good thing. So for those that don't know, he is the official mover of the Vladimirski team.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan, as you know, all our clients, they not only they get great service, free moving supplies.
Mm-hmm.
That's big.
It's huge. No one. I feel like no one wants to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and lug all these big wardrobe boxes and boxes.
No.
Some people I move, most of them have like walk-ups. Who wants to bring all that, all that shit up 5 flights of steps? That's the only time where I actually get out and do it myself. I'm not gonna say I don't regret it, but when I start bringing boxes up 5 flights of steps, it is what it is though. If it makes it more convenient on them, I'm all in.
So when you walk into a building and all of a sudden you see that there's no elevator, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, but not for nothing. Okay, so you guys know that I'm predominantly the house mover in Nurse Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there's like maybe 8 to 10 luxury buildings now. I got stuck in one of them, right?
In the elevator?
And these elevators in Nurse Show, they go down in these new buildings like daily. So I've never was scared of or claustrophobic or nothing, but when you get stuck in an elevator by yourself for like a half hour,
A bunch of boxes.
yeah, with a bunch
Crammed
of
in the
boxes.
corner.
So what I've started doing now, and it's sick, but I started waiting for people like in the lobby that could fucking ride up with me. Because if I get stuck, if I'm with someone, I feel like I can handle it a little better. If I'm by myself, it's like, and I've gotten stuck like 2-3 times. So that's like a new phobia of mine now is these elevators. So that being said, I kind of prefer walk-ups.
That's crazy.
Have you ever realized they never have the
They
hatch?
don't. No,
like
they
you see
don't.
in the movies, we're like, I can just climb out of this thing.
I always
It's
said
only for
that.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I always look when I get in now to these buildings. I remember one building I just went to on Pelham Road in Nurse Show. They didn't even have like a fucking call button. You know how they all have call buttons? So if I got stuck, what am I doing? I had no service, no call button. All they had was that alarm one.
Yeah.
Who's
You
gonna
just
come
send the
get
stuff
me?
up, and you're like, oh my god.
It's bad though.
I grew up in Co-op City, and now they have like newer elevators and they look nice. But when I was a kid, they would get stuck all the fucking time. Yeah. And like I was a kid, I was like 6 years old, 5 years old.
Right.
When you get stuck in there, the door opens and there's like just this black, scary door that you just stare at, and the alarm's ringing, and you're just up there, just me and my grandma.
Yeah, no, it's
just sitting there, petrified.
It's hard because you got to wait for the fire department to come.
Yeah.
I remember one time the door opened and I was just looking at a brick wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, man. Like, what, and then you just, I don't know. I was always very calm and collective, but for some reason now with these elevators, because it's like hit or miss, because they go down daily. Like, these elevators are always being serviced. And these buildings are brand new. But I guess because the constant use, 200 to 400 residents each building, those things are nonstop.
That's crazy.
So
tell us, how did you get to this point? How did Easy Haul come about? What's your story? Because I don't know how many people like I'm going to be the best fucking mover in Westchester, right? So tell me how did that come about?
Well, prior to moving, as you know, I was in corrections for 10 years.
Drastic change.
It was a wild 10 years, let me tell you.
Move your stuff from this cell to that cell.
Yeah. But I just wanted to, like the last half of my career there, like I found myself always pushing back against administration. Like I felt like there was a lot of things, not being handled properly, or just like shit I didn't agree with, right? So I started to realize, this isn't for me anymore. The inmates were a breeze. I got along with the inmates better than the officers, to be honest with you. Like it was just a respect thing. It's not like the movies where you go and you're like lock in inmate, or they call them by inmate. You address them by their name. It's like if you're not in that environment, it's really hard to describe. But it's kind of like a frat house, and it's all about respect. The officers that had hard times were the ones that came in and tried to be like a dictator. They're gonna make your 8 hours feel like 16 hours. Me, I grew up in the city. I grew up in Yonkers, so I was a little, in the streets per se.
Yeah.
I did my own fair stuff growing up, so I knew how to relate. That being said, it made my job very easily, and I got very comfortable, probably too comfortable, right? So I wanted to make a change after I've noticed that I was pushing back, and I really I gave up on it. So I resigned. I took a big shot. I resigned after 10 years, pension, everything. I had to cash out my pension.
Gave it all up?
Well, I resigned after 9.5 years. 10 years, you get your pension. So I cashed out.
Holy shit.
But I couldn't do it no more. I would have ended up in trouble or something because I wasn't playing by the rules no more per se, right?
Were you in a max?
I was in Valhalla.
Okay.
Westchester County Jail.
Okay.
But it's funny, like people always say like, oh, you work in the country club. I say, yeah, we have the good murderers. We have the good rapists, the good drug dealers. Mount Vernon, Yonkers is just as bad as Brooklyn and Queens.
Sure.
I can guarantee you that. So that being said, we also house federal inmates. So it's basically anyone, God forbid someone walks in now, kills us all. He's going to Westchester for about 1.5 years, 2 years. He's going to stay there.
For a triple homicide?
Yeah. Well, he's going there for a year and a half while he's in court.
Got it.
Once you get sentenced, then they go to either federal prison or state prison for life.
So this is the equivalent of Rikers for Westchester.
Exactly. But
Okay.
Rikers is a war zone.
Yeah,
Rikers
I
is a
hear.
lot worse. Officers got, they got into fights with inmates all the time. People pissed, shit thrown on them. You see a lot of wild stuff. So I decided to resign and start my own business probably a year before COVID, 2 years before COVID. And the way I am and the way I saw how I was attending to the inmates and my coworkers, I should have been in some type of service from the get-go, So
Why moving though?
Well, when I was out of work, I actually was in and out. When I resigned, I went to go work for a couple different places, a landscaper, a mover, this and that. And I saw the moving, and I just liked how, the service you provide to people during a stressful time like that. I do a very good job of de-stressing and helping people out. And I felt like out of all the things I tried, painting, landscaping, construction, moving, I even applied for the feds, which they denied me like 3 times right away. They do a good background check, let me tell you.
We don't gotta go further.
No. Yeah. So I just took a liking to it, and I saw, how busy it was, especially during COVID. It was just nonstop. So I took whatever I had saved up. I invested in a truck, logo, materials. I found some guys, a good crew, which, is everything in moving, because it's a reflection on me. So my guys are going to reflect me. They're going to be happy. They're going to be personable. They're going to be caring. They're genuine guys, And I ran with it. I started it, and it just took off, man. 5-6 years later, Best of Westchester 2 years in a row, 5-star reviews everywhere, house mover for TVT.
Look at that.
So
you started with one truck.
One truck.
How many do you have now?
Like 4, 5.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
12
awesome.
guys, 4 part-time. And it just keeps going. It just keeps growing. I get calls like there's a property manager that wants me in Jersey, who's a big developer. He owns like 14 buildings in Jersey. So it's like I'm trying to get all over now.
So you are you're not just a house mover for TVT. Like you're the house mover for, like you said, a lot of these buildings in New Rochelle.
Yeah.
People in Jersey want you.
Right.
From what I see, and this is just the outside view, I see a lot of different, a lot of competition in your industry. Like I see trucks on the road from many different moving companies. How do you stand out? Like what's the focus for a mover to stand out from?
Pulls up in a Corvette.
The Corvette I do not take to do estimates.
I'm
That's
just kidding.
that's a very bad look.
Thing's sick
You're
though.
gonna say, oh, you're gonna, yeah, it is. You're gonna say, oh, you're gonna charge me high, aren't you? I remember I did that one time. For those who don't know, I have a pickup that I use every day, and then I have a Corvette, which I purchased a couple years ago. The thing's nice. Ryan got to see it. I went to. I had to bring it to service one day, so it just so happened that the service point was at 11. I had an estimate at 10. So I pulled up, and the lady was like, Jesus Christ, you're going to be so expensive. I was like, no, I promise you.
Supplies are free.
Yeah.
It's paid for. I bought it already. It's not a lease.
Yeah, supplies are free. So what makes me stick out? Little stuff like just with buildings in general. Like I go, if I know like Nurshell has 2 new buildings about to lease, the Arc and the Motif. Those are the only 2 buildings I'm not in yet because they're brand new. So what I do is I'll go introduce myself. Hi, I'm Joe. I'm the house mover, best of Westchester. Kind of an easy sell by reviews alone. And they just take a liking to me, man. You could tell if someone's a bullshit artist, which there's a lot of those in the moving industry. You could tell guys that are genuine guys. But in my industry, that's very few and selective. That being said, other big businesses, not only moving, there's times during Thanksgiving that I went to Starbucks in Nurshell. I went to Starbucks in Larchmont. I gave them like $400, $500, $600. I said, listen, from 9 to 12, everyone's coffee, just say as a thank you to the residents of Westchester. Just as a thank you, your coffee's on us today. I'm a little mom and pop business.
Yeah.
How come bigger businesses in Nurshell or just in Westchester in general, or even anywhere in New York, when was the last time you walked into a coffee shop and said, oh, this business is paying for your coffee today? Doesn't happen.
No.
You know what I mean? So like little stuff like that. I don't do it to get, a part of it is as like a little advertiser, but I do it honestly because I like seeing people's reactions. Listen, my parents are old school Italian right off the boat. That being said, I'm an emotional guinea, bro. Very emotional. So there's been some times where I've helped people in like stressful situation that when they thank me, I got like tears in my eyes when I'm saying goodbye to these people. Like it's just how I am, bro. It's how I am, and it's just all working. Thank God, it's all working.
You did a complete 180. You went from working in a place where you had to be a hard ass and watch your back essentially to now buying Starbucks and crying with your clients. Like,
can you imagine?
That's a wild turnaround.
Would you sit there during those hours in the Starbucks till you be a face to when they actually?
I stayed for like the first hour or 2, but my schedule's so busy to sit there for 3 hours on like a weekend. It's tough, but
I would appreciate a heads up next time you do that so we know we can go.
Yeah. I post on my Instagram.
No, just shoot us text privately. Yeah. Say, hey, go to Starbucks.
Just and even like you said, what sticks out like these buildings. I buy them, the property managers and staff. I buy them lunch all the time. It's a thank you. You're gonna let me put my 8-foot easy hole movers, the preferred mover of like Modera in Nurshell. Loyalty is everything to me. So if you're gonna help me out, that's the least I could do is lunch or make sure you guys are good. If you ever need anything for you or your family, like I take care of it. Yeah,
you're always giving breakfast. I see on Instagram.
I do a lot of events in those buildings. I'm doing one Friday. It's sick event. DJ, open bar, past hors d'oeuvres at 25 Maple, another one of the buildings I'm in. But that's what differentiates me.
Yeah, nobody does that.
Brought chocolate covered strawberries to the open house 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he came to our open house and brought chocolate, and I was very upset that I wasn't at that one.
Yeah,
pulled up in the Corvette. Yeah. And I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, very sweet.
Because I didn't even meet you yet. I always knew you through Instagram. I just seen Paul. I was like, who is this guy? And he's like, I brought chocolate covered strawberries.
Yeah. I did that. You see, my thought process on that was, I'm your house mover, right?
Yeah.
I didn't do it, no offense for you guys. I did it for the people who are coming to view the house.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So that makes you guys look good. So if something you didn't think about that could help you guys, that's what I did. And I hope it worked out. I mean, were there any left?
No.
There weren't?
No, I ate the last one.
Yeah, so that's my whole thing is just try to thrive on customer service pretty much.
That's the best way to go.
Yeah.
And throughout all this, it's not like you're a single guy. You got a family.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on.
A lot.
Yeah.
I wear many hats, but I just do it. For me, there's really no option. You know, when it gets overwhelming, because I do everything in my business. I do estimates. I answer calls, and people say, "Oh, why don't you get someone to help you do that?" Because they're not me. It's not an arrogant thing. It's just I know how I am with the customers, and I know that I could sell the job and I could get the job once they meet me, and I really can't trust anyone to fill my shoes like that.
You want to tell him or should I?
What happened?
Well, sounds like you.
Oh.
What?
Gotta find somebody.
I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, say it.
It took him a while, but you know.
Are you him? Is he you?
Yeah. Everybody on my team is the same person.
Man.
We all work together. We grow, and that's like you said before. When the employees that you have working for you, you knew who to find. You selected them. You know, you guys are all on the same page.
That's true.
You can't go do the move. You gotta trust them to do the move.
Right. Exactly.
Take the next step, man. Letting go is the next step to growth.
Leverage.
Wow.
Leverage.
It's a strong quote.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking about it, but again, then I have to train them to how I price, how I quote. It's not, it's a process.
Yeah.
I've tried one person, and he's starting to learn a little, but I go with him on every estimate just so he sees how I work, and how I speak to the customer and how I, calm them down. Everyone's stressed out when they're about to move. I never walk into anyone happy to move. It's always like, oh, these I have kids and the boxes and everywhere. My house is a tornado. And I do a phenomenal job. We got it. It's not that serious.
So you just have to find the right person.
Right.
That can go into that situation, speak like you, be like you.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, and I say this humbly and with all the respect in the world,
mm-hmm.
your customers don't care if it's you coming through the door. They care about your brand and what your brand represents. And your brand represents the customer service that you give them.
Right.
So everybody behind your brand, your movers, an estimator, whoever you hire, if you hire an admin down the line, whatever it is, they all represent the Easy Haul brand.
Right.
It's not you. You're building a culture, and you need people that can come and buy into that culture and continue to grow it.
Right.
Because you by yourself, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow it to how you want it to be.
But on the flip side of that, I do have people that when they find out I'm not at the move, they get very upset. Like, you're not going to be there? I'm like, no, I'm like, I own, like, this is my business. Like, I'm not actually going to be doing the physical labor. But they get upset.
All my clients in my consultation say the same thing. When I say Ryan's going to be the one showing you the home, it's not going to be me. Oh, it's not going to be you?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, Ryan looks exactly like me. And you're going to like it. And I start making jokes. I was like, you're going to... Dude, this is... Seriously?
Not gonna lie, most recent client sent me an amazing review.
She left me out of the review. But that's cool. But I don't care.
That's good, yeah.
That's amazing.
That's awesome, yeah. So like,
that's the brand.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I get it. No, it makes sense. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Again, it comes down to a trust thing. I just gotta find someone that I'm trust.
100%.
Doing that.
100%.
Also appearance.
Of course.
So it's funny, in the beginning, coming from a jail, right? When I used to go do like estimates, like I used to like get a call from like a Scarsdale, and you could tell right away what the person you're dealing with by the way they talk on the phone. Then they tell you where they live. You look up their house. So my appearance, you can see, I'm covered in tattoos. That shit used to bother me in the beginning. I used to, in fucking 90-degree weather, I used to put on a hoodie just to cover my tattoos to go do an estimate in Scarsdale.
And what changed that?
My success. If you don't want to deal with me by my appearance and know who I am personally, pretty much. I don't want to move you for that purpose anyway. Then, if you're gonna judge me by the way I look, just because I have tattoos, I mean, it's 2023 is a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a good to the core person, and if you don't, because I have two tattoos, the next tattoo, but that has nothing to do with anything. But it used to bother me in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie.
It's funny. I was just having this conversation with Karen yesterday about luxury buyers or luxury sellers versus somebody's buying a $500,000 house. They're all people at the end of the day.
Yeah,
they're people. They just happen to make more than you. They still need the same service.
But I've noticed a lot of those old school people with old money, they judge. They still judge. They
Fuck them.
definitely
Let
still
them judge.
And
if they judge, they don't deserve our service.
No, yeah, that's how I feel. Just on But on the flip side, there's another, like the guy I'm moving in Armonk, $7 million house, just sold it. The guy was cool as shit. He was like us.
Yeah.
He was just older. He has money too, a lot of money. He looked like me, you know. You just don't know. And like I said, I don't really care so much now, but in the beginning, when I'm starting to get started, I'm like, shit, I don't want to lose this $3,000-$4,000 job because I have tattoos. Let me put on a hoodie. Now she look at me like I'm crazy. Well, it's fucking 95 degrees. I'm walking up to her door in a hoodie.
Trying to cut weight over here.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm on a diet. Sorry.
But yeah, so I'm just glad everything worked out the way it did, man.
It is working out, man. So what's next? What's the growth plan?
I'm trying to get into Jersey. I'm trying to expand to Connecticut. A lot of, I would say at least 35% of the people I moved into Connecticut the last 2 years. Connecticut's very hot.
You're telling us?
Yeah. So it was like everyone from like the city was coming to Westchester. Everyone from Westchester was moving up more to like Carmel, Yorktown, Pond Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Those people were going to Connecticut. It's like everyone was just moving up the line a little, you know? So that's the goal, to just get more involved in Jersey and Connecticut. Even though we do the whole East Coast, I want to be the house mover in Jersey. I want to be the house movers in Stamford and all those buildings. And I have a great like networking team, which you guys are a part of too, that, you know, I have the possibility of doing that.
What about the West Coast?
It's not worth it for me.
No?
It's not worth it because that's like a 7-10 day trip. At the end of the day, I have to think finances now.
Sure.
I can make twice that just in this area. If I'm sending 4 or 5 guys away for 10 days, doesn't make sense to send them out there. Just gas alone now with diesel going to the West Coast and back, it cost me fucking like $3,500. And then people don't want to pay the direct shot. There's other moving companies that are a little bigger than me that they'll put 4 or 5 families on the same truck, and now your $15,000 move is only 3 because you're splitting it between 5 people. That being said, they'll give you a window. It'll be there 14 to 31 days. Not a lot of people like that.
That's wild. Imagine
not a lot of people.
2 weeks, no furniture.
Yeah, and I referred someone to someone when I first started, and I'll never do it again. He had a newborn. I referred him to his bigger company that did that. 3 weeks later, no answers, no phone calls. Because now, mind you, they sub these jobs out, these bigger companies. They don't usually come themselves. He had to go buy all new fucking furniture. He would sleep on a blow mattress with his newborn.
Shit.
And then, even though it isn't my fault, it was my referral. So I felt terrible, you know, and I tell myself I'll never do that again. So that being said, some people will pay more. Joe, I tell him, Joe, I'll pick your stuff up on Monday. It'll be there by Wednesday. There's no 21-day window. And people will pay extra for that convenience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I got a couple more questions.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind.
Shoot.
These are hard.
I don't care.
So you were corrections officer. Now you're a mover. What are your thoughts on jorts?
Jorts?
Jorts.
Like jean shorts?
Jean shorts.
Nah. Well, I mean, I would never wear them.
Why not?
I don't judge, but I would never wear jorts.
I feel judged right now.
You should feel judged. Jorts are like you wear.
Tell
jorts?
me why. I love jorts. Big fan.
Really?
Swear to God.
Like slim fit jorts or like?
Do I look like I could fit into anything slim fit at all?
I mean, like tight fitted jorts.
I got big thighs.
Throw the jorts out.
No, not tight fitted jorts. Just regular jorts.
No.
They're tight.
They're not tight.
They're tight.
You know what? I'm gonna start wearing them.
I'm
now.
not
The
a
weather's
fan.
getting nicer.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of jorts.
Man,
Do you like a nice khaki short, a nice athletic short?
I sweat through them.
And the jorts, you don't sweat in jorts?
I probably do, but you can't see it
Wear black athletic pants.
all the time.
My firm hard answer to jorts is a no. I would definitely. I mean, again, you probably look good in them. I would never wear jorts.
I definitely look good in them.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I bet you do.
We were getting ready for Why Not Use golf outing next week,
Yeah.
and I'm genuinely concerned about the color of the shorts that I'm going to wear. So I'm stuck wearing black shorts because, the sweat problem.
Just don't wear blue jean jorts.
No, I'm not wearing jorts for a golf
But
outing.
when you said jorts, you
Yeah.
meant blue jean jorts?
Yeah.
No.
What if they're gray? Khaki jorts,
Khaki.
like beige jorts.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Beige jorts?
Yeah, they come in all colors now.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
definitely wouldn't go blue jean jorts. That I wouldn't. That's just not my style. That's just about whatever. You
Brian, we need another mover.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a hard question. You said you had a hard one.
It is hard.
I'm
trying to get people to understand my problem, and I'm having a very hard time. Dude. Joe Lackey was on here and said that he hated jorts, and then showed up to a Yankee game wearing jorts.
No,
I swear to God.
Joe Lackey's a good guy too. He's usually a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Joe Lackey's a good guy. I like Joe Lackey. He's my attorney.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's everyone's attorney.
He's the life attorney. But that being said, too, with Joe Lackey, I heard about your hat conversation.
Yeah.
No hats at the dinner table, bro.
What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Tony Soprano even said it.
I saw the video you sent me. You did send me the link. But I just wonder what's gonna happen. Who decided that was a sign of respect? Like, there had to be somewhere where somebody just made it up. It's made up. It's made up.
Probably some old school Guinea Italian.
Can you agree it's made up?
It's definitely made up.
Because all customs are made up at the end of the day.
It is, but it's just not a good look, especially if you're like a classy restaurant to walk in. But then again, then you got celebrities that are worth millions that wear hats and everything.
Because it's made up.
Yeah, it is. But you can never come to my family's dinner table with a hat on.
Are you inviting me to dinner?
Yeah.
No jorts, no hat.
No jorts, no hat.
What if it's an easy hole hat?
No jorts, no hat.
Shit.
Not when you're eating gnocchi bolognese. You can't have a hat on.
So I'm not coming to your house then.
Why do you wear the hat?
I just like hats. Like it's not a thing for me. I don't think, okay, I'm coming to eat dinner, I got to take my hat off or else I'm disrespecting somebody. I think it's a preference at the end of the day. If you don't like to wear your hat, I'm not going to say you're disrespecting me because you're not wearing a hat.
Would you go to a hat? Would you wear a hat to a wedding?
If so, no, because it just doesn't go with whatever the outfit is.
That's debatable. You could wear a top hat.
I mean, we're gonna split those hairs. I could wear a top hat or a yarmulke.
Oh my God. That's debatable. So no jorts, no hat.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
All right, closer question. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you can give one piece of advice to your younger self.
My younger self.
What would it be?
It's a loaded question.
See, that one's actually hard.
To my younger self, like teenage Joe?
Who, at any point, you decide.
Just what I've done, I would say just be yourself. Like I was telling you the example about the tattoos and stuff. Just be yourself and stay true to who you are and your values and your morals. And anything you want to achieve, just set your mind to it, and believe me, it'll happen. Just don't try to switch or change who you are to accommodate other people.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it. That's my thing.
That's exactly why I'm going to keep wearing jorts and wearing hats. Appreciate you.
Awesome, man.
It's actually one of my favorite responses.
Thanks so much for being here,
course,
dude.
Brother.
Thank you, my man.
Thanks, buddy.
You guys, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's TVT News Podcast. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.